Hi, this is Bobby at Copel TV Repair, and this video is for a customer of ours, Ross Taylor, who has sent that power supply board for repair. And as with every other board that we receive, we inspect it upon receiving to find out if there is any tampering, any physical, chemical damage, anything that will make our flat rate repair more difficult. And upon inspecting this board, we found, let me see where it was, this area here. Actually, it will be easier to start on the other side. You can see a little crack here spawning out of that support point. Actually, two cracks, one going to the left, one going to the right. And if you look on the other side, even though I first saw it on the other side, you can see the cracks here. And it starts with the elevated solder joints from, and this is common, this is something that we look for because it happens one way or another, relatively common, with the elevated solder joints, which sometimes they got so bad. I'm pushing on the back right now so that you can see that they tear the joints. But here it's not torn. The copper on the back still holds to that diode rectifier. But what you can see is the cracks have actually went all the way through that copper field, so there is no connection between here and here, or it will be very intermittent. And they also have gone to the left and have gone through all those tiny 1, 2, 3. The fourth one is not correctly totally interrupted, but the first three are definitely bad to the point where they will work at the best intermittently. This is cracked. It is just enough to interrupt, and if I do a little push, or if the board warms up, connection between the top and the bottom will be interrupted, which in the case of the tiny signals here can be pretty bad. Here it may also be, may or may not be interrupted between here and here. And this is what a crack would do. We've seen better, we've seen worse, there may be more. This is why it's important to look at that. There is something that looks like a crack, but it's actually just a scratch here. It's not that, and we will see many others. And this is in addition to, this is mechanical thing that was most likely caused by shipping. This is something that needs to be taken care of in addition to whatever the original electronic board failure was. Looking at the box, it's hard to say what exactly caused that. There is something that you can see on the back here, and there is something that is here, but those two do not really intersect with each other, and they may have been from the past. What usually happens is, it's on one of those, usually is on this heatsink, push, be it from the board, be it from something that is on top, pushes anywhere here on that heatsink. And because the support point is there at the back, this is where the cracks tend to happen most. And again, they happen in a different way, and on both sides, whether on this heatsink, on that heatsink, and around the legs of it, and sometimes just on the, well, let's say the end points hold. Switch out to focus here, and it is just the legs, and this is very common when shipping. Now this looks pretty decently packed, I'm not gonna lie. It's a box inside the box. So how exactly, it's not the best box, but it is still a box inside a box. And I would not have expected that to happen. Still, it is going to take us extra time, not to mention additional checks, to take care of that in addition to everything else. And this is why a flat rate is not as easy as it seems. And when we first started 13 years ago, I believe we were one of the very first ones, if not the very first one, to offer flat rate repairs on eBay, particularly for plasma TV boards. And we've been having difficulties ever since finding the proper, it would be a physical failure like that, it would be chemical damage because the board has been outside and it's extremely corroded all over the place, even though a customer hasn't done anything. And we've been adding conditions over the years to try and narrow it down, and a customer is never happy, and it's natural to hear that, hey, you know, you read for a flat rate repair, but your board doesn't meet the conditions, so get it back or pay us more. This is something that's totally doable here. If there's no more, I think the practical thing to do will be to just go and fix it, take care of it. The thing is, those things happen all the time. So two things have to happen. Either you have to go back to the customer and tell them you have to pay us more, or you have to raise prices for everyone else so that the repair of that board is not, let's say, $50, but instead it is $70, and the effect of spending more time and more money on repairing one of those is distributed across all others. The problem with that approach, which seems very reasonable, is that there are always newbie wannabes coming on eBay. At one point, I was one of them, I'm guessing, that say, oh, hey, here's a board, I can fix it, I saw how, I fixed one, I can do it for, 30 minutes, and they haven't seen the other 12 cases that will make their life miserable and which will require them to go and raise their prices. So there is unjustified push on one end from newbies that think that they can do something for $50 until they find out that they don't. And on the other side, from making something that customer really makes sense to go and choose. So hopefully that gives some information. I don't know if anyone has found a better approach to that. Let us know. Let us, everybody know. I'm absolutely sure that this is a common problem in this business. Just let us know. Thanks.